It's Wednesday, April 24th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And today, on the third day of the week, we end up with kind of a two-up red bar where we took out the high the previous day, closed a little red below the open, but held above the midpoint of the prior day. So it's had an opportunity, a chance to become a reversal bar, but it really never unfolded. And yet we could be, with an actionable signal to the downside on a two-down day tomorrow to start working towards those weekly lows of this week and last week. Depending how price action opens. And today, price action was crystal clear to go to the short side, just as it was crystal clear yesterday to go to the long side. So if we go today, between the blue lines was the pre-market range. First bar kind of, gapped up a little bit. Then we paused for 3 bars, almost 4 bars, and then we broke down. So I bought some puts here, described it on a previous video, and then it kind of came down. I saw it kind of attempt to have a little bit of a pullback, but then it started lower, and then I noticed it starting to really lose some momentum in here. I discussed how I exited the trade. I wanted to kind of see what was happening. Again, this goes to my methodology that I know we're starting down from the high of yesterday, so we kind of target maybe the midpoint of that bar, and if we can't strongly break through there, that could be an area where price holds, and that's kind of what happened. Eventually you got this big green bar, rallied up, came down. Now after market with Meta, the disappointing earnings announcement, a lot of stocks are to the downside. So it almost looks like, we'll see what happens overnight, but it almost looks like after market we might be gapping below the low to kind of create a 2-down day, which means as long as we hold the midpoint of this bar on any kind of an initial buy, then we're heading lower towards these targets. And maybe with 2 days in the week, we fulfill that expectation of taking out that red bar low from last week, even though we moved up for the first kind of 2.5 days, and we kind of closed a little, we stayed up there, but it's definitely a potential failure bar if we can get a 2 down tomorrow. If we get the 2 down tomorrow, we'll be looking for price action like this at the open, where the first bar or so kind of breaks to the downside to confirm that we're heading to some of these targets. So let's see if that unfolds. You never know. We'll have to see how things open tomorrow. But today, like I said, it was very clear to try a short trade, and there was an excellent morning directional move here. Anything in this area was tough to, take advantage of. It strongly came up, then it came down, and it was kind of waiting on earnings. And like I said, as clear as it was to take this open and break to the downside today, it was just as clear to take the open and break to the upside yesterday. And that was kind of, a 2-up continuation towards some of these targets. We hit this one, I think. I think we just missed this one. But we will see what happens tomorrow. We're kind of judging now with 2 days to go how this weekly bar closes. That, I think, can give an indication whether we just came down, we're pausing in here, and we're expecting lower to some of these pivot machine gun targets, or is this going to be a strong green inside reversal bar or inside green bar that has the potential to reverse to the upside on a breakout, higher next week? I still can get the feeling after this big red bar, that's kind of the beginning of something, not so much just a brief pullback that comes right back to the high. So even if we're consolidating here, people buying the dip, I still get the feeling we're going to try to break lower. And, we will see. Again, we're talking about this monthly chart, which now has just a few days to go. If we close strongly red here, we're expecting probably lower into next month. If this could kind of go up and have a bit of a buying tail into this gap, then maybe it's just a month pause, and we'll see what the open of the next month is. And if it's green, maybe we're biased to the upside. So that's kind of what we're getting to at the end of the month, but we'll see what happens. For now, I really want to judge how this weekly bar closes. That'll give an indication. Like I said, kind of expecting a 2 down tomorrow. So let's see if we could, build some momentum back to the downside towards some of these weekly targets. And that can say a lot about how the month is going to end as well, and what to expect for next month.